Hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to welcome you to a very different video indeed in comparison to what's been on my channel recently. Today we're going to be taking up a FIFA 17 career mode challenge as opposed to a FIFA 17 career mode experiment or just a flat out career mode video that you would see on this channel usually. So today what we're going to be trying to do is taking a slightly smaller team as far as the Premier League is concerned, and we're going to be trying to win the league within the space of 3 seasons by only doing free transfer. So we're not allowed to spend a single penny in terms of transfer fees. So that means the only players we're allowed to buy are free agents, pre-contract agreement players, and potentially loan players, although I can't see them making much of a difference realistically as far as the Premier League is concerned. The team we're going to be using is Crystal Palace. They're 4.5 stars, expected really to finish sort of mid-table, but more likely sort of between the 11th and 15th bracket across the Premier League season. And we're going to be converting them into Premier League title winners, hopefully, over the course of 3 seasons by not even spending a single penny. Now, before this starts, obviously this video has been inspired by another YouTuber who's been doing this recently, and his name is Jared HD. I'm not even going to say the words if you haven't heard of him, because his channel's been utterly exploding recently, and if you don't know who he is, then you must have been living under a rock recently. But if you don't, then make sure to check out his channel, and the videos, the FIFA 17 challenges that he's been doing will be popping up in the top right of the screen throughout the duration of this one. So if you want to go check his channel out after you've watched this video and check out his FIFA 17 challenges, then make sure to do so. Meanwhile, if you go on to enjoy this video, then make sure to slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel for similar content. Before we start the sim and before we start bringing in some players to change the outlook and the fortunes of this Crystal Palace side, let's take a look at the current squad. Now, obviously with the nature of this challenge video, we're not really going to be able to make a huge amount of signings in the first transfer window, apart from maybe the odd loan signing if it's going to actually improve our squad. You'll see some more transfer activity when we get to January, but here is the side at the moment. We've got Wayne Hennessy in goal, a defence of Joel Ward, Martin Kelly, Delaney and Patrick Van Aanholt. In midfield we've got Andros Townsend, Jason Punchin, Milivojevic, Kabaye and Wilfred Zaha, and up front we've got Christian Benteke. In fairness, in the reserve section we've got Scott Dan, we've got Mandanda, and we've got Mamadou Sakho as well. We're not going to play any games in this experiment. It's purely a simmed experiment / challenge, as I'm sure you would have expected. I'm not going to play every single game of 3 seasons in one video. Now, contrary to how I was expecting this first transfer window to go, it looks as if we are actually going to bring in at least one player on loan. Now, we've got the choice. It is really just a backup player, because obviously we need quality in this team if we're going to win a Premier League or we're going to do well across the season, but we also need depth as well, and depth in terms of the central midfield position is not great. So we're going to just bring in Harry Winks. It's only a depth position anyway, so we might as well try and save some money in terms of the wages. The second of 3 loan players is going to be coming into the team in terms of my new plan for loanees, which I wasn't expecting to be making at the start of this video. Giovanni Lo Celso is coming in from Paris Saint-Germain on loan, 41k in wages. It's a decent chunk, but again, we haven't even done the transfer allocation, or the budget allocation, sorry, yet. So the final player coming in on loan in this first transfer window is going to be Kelechi Iheanacho from Manchester City, and this is quite a surprising one. Didn't expect City to want to loan him out, but I guess they've got Gabriel Jesus now. I know this is quite a generic one, realistically, under the circumstances, but we need the best players and we need them on loan, and that'll be the final action of this first transfer window. Right, ladies and gents, January has arrived, and that means only one thing. It's pre-contract agreement o'clock. You can see on the table we're currently 10th at the halfway stage of the season, which is pretty decent indeed. We're a long way off 9th place and hence a long way off Europe probably as well. But mid-table, where we are at the moment, is very much dealable with. But in terms of pre-contract agreements, we're going to get 2 out of the way very quickly right about now. And one of them, I'm pretty sure you're all going to know what I'm going to do here. One of them is so blaringly obvious that I'm pretty sure you're all going to be able to predict what I'm about to do. But first of all, we're going to bring in this man. This might have been one you saw coming as well, I'm not entirely sure, but Sead Kolasinac is coming in, or Kolasinac even, is what is coming in from Schalke. He signed for Arsenal on a pre-contract agreement in real life, and we're bringing him in from Schalke on the game. Our defence is by far the weakest point in the team, and especially our fullbacks, so he's going to be coming in, I think, as a 79 or 80 rated left back at the start of the season 2. 23 years of age, and he'll be coming in for free, 50k in wages as well. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is the big one, and I'm sure you could have predicted it. Zlatan, he's left United at the end of his contract in real life, at the end of this season. We all knew his contract was expiring at the end of the first season on FIFA 17, and he is going to be coming in. It's ridiculous, quite frankly, that Crystal Palace can tempt someone like Zlatan Ibrahimovic in, but of course, will be declining in overall, so we are going to have to bring in another striker at some point to replace him when he's either too low in overall or he retires. So we've already brought in Kolasinac and Ibrahimovic. A third player is joining on a pre-contract agreement for free, and it is Tyson from Shakhtar Donetsk, the 82 overall left midfielder. Is 82 as far as I can remember. We haven't had a chance to scout him yet, but he's going to be coming in. He will improve our wingers only slightly. I think Crystal Palace's strength really is its wingers, but he'll still improve the squad slightly. So we're going to be bringing him in as the third player in this window. And the fourth player that's coming in this transfer window, we've already been pretty busy. It's only been 3 weeks of January so far, but Valentin Isaric is coming in as well from OGC Nice. Now, I can't remember what his overall is, but it's either 77 or 79, and I think he's got potential to grow above 80 because he's only 24, you see, so he might be a decent one for the third season, certainly, and he might be at that 80 overall by the time he joins the club for season number 2, and he becomes our fourth proper transfer of this challenge. So we have currently got our GTN scouts sort of looking for players whose contracts are expiring, obviously above the age of 23, so they can be brought in on pre-contract agreement. No one has been found yet, and we could really do with a centre-back before the end of this transfer window, because otherwise our centre-back pairing is going to be pretty weak going into season 2. So we've arrived at deadline day, and unfortunately it doesn't seem as if we've found anyone who could fill that gap at centre-back. I mean, for now we've got 83 rated Sacco and 79 rated Scott Dan, which isn't too bad, but obviously we do need at least, one world-class centre-back if we are to challenge for a title. We'll sit into the end of Season 1, see where we finish, and we'll just have to go on a massive, anti-spending spree to try and get the players we need on pre-contract agreements in Season number 2. So here is how Season number 1 ended. I guess this is just a sort of barometer to see, how the stock standard Crystal Palace team would do, and, then we can compare this at the end of the third season, see just how much we've improved their fortunes. We finished 10th in the end on 47 points. 6 points away from Watford, who finished 9th. I think the exact same position as we were in the first half of the season, and I think the exact same distance away from Watford as we were at the end of the first half of the season, but a decent finish nonetheless, sorry. We're going to jump now into Season 2 and see what signings we can make there. Okay, so here is the team then for the start of Season 2. You'll have already seen me make the 4 sort of pre-contract agreement signings that we did, and they are now in the side. Obviously the main one here is Ibra, 88 rated at the head of the team, the number 9. We've changed the formation a little bit as well, so we've now got 2 attacking mids to accompany, or to accommodate even, that's the word I was looking for, to accommodate the new signings, Tyson and Isaric over here as well, so that's 80 and 81 rated respectively, and also at left back we've now got Kolasinac, who is 80 rated to replace Van Arnholt, who was 76. So the one and realistically only transfer we're going to make in the summer transfer window of season number 2 is Presnel Kimpembe coming in on loan from Paris, or Paris Saint-Germain. He's 77 overall centre-back, 21 years of age. He's coming in really as a backup, and to be fair, by the end of the season he could be 80 rated, so he could do bits for us in Season 2, even though realistically this is not going to be the season where we challenge for the title. Right, we're into January now, very much making a signing I wasn't expecting to make, but in will come Sonder Lovseth Rosbach on loan from Dortmund, because our apparently one and only goalkeeper Steve Mondonda is currently injured, hence we're flirting with relegation halfway through the second season. I didn't realise Wayne Hennessy had decided to just up sticks and leave, but apparently he has, and I've been given no warning on the subject, so in comes now a backup goalkeeper. Now though comes the first of hopefully a huge raft of pre-contract agreements coming in. These are the big ones. These are the ones that are going to hopefully get us the title in Season 3, and the third first is arguably one of the biggest. Bernd Leno is going to be coming in as a goalkeeper. Now, ironically, this only raises the overall of the squad by +4 because Mondonda currently, I think, is one of the best Crystal Palace original players in the side, but it's still an improvement, and he is a world-class goalkeeper at this point in career mode from Leverkusen, so he's going to be coming in for free. We'll just have to pay his wages, and he becomes the 5th proper signing of this series, of this video even. It's not even a series yet. Right, now it's time for another batch of 3 pre-contract agreements. This time we've got Bruno Martins Indy coming in from FC Porto. Around about the 80 rated mark. He's not, an absolute world beater, but he's a very good quality centre-back, and he will improve our defence by a pretty decent margin now that Mamadou Sakho has returned from his loan to Liverpool. The third signing of the window is another very, very exciting one. Dries Mertens from Napoli, the Belgian winger, 84 overall, 30 years of age. He is going to start declining. That's one thing I am a little bit concerned about. He might end up being sort of 82 by the end of next season, but he's still, again, an improvement on what we have for now. So he's coming in again for free from Napoli. And then finally, we've been building up to this one. Isco, the Real Madrid central midfielder, 88 overall, and I think he's got the potential to grow even higher than that. 25 years of age. He is going to be coming in on a pre-contract agreement. We're not paying a single penny, and he is going to slot straight into that central midfield and completely revitalise the team's actual ability. Because now we've got just a world beater in the middle of midfield as well, and we haven't had that previously. Our midfield hasn't been a position that's been strengthened too much, so this is going to change the game completely. Yet another player's on his way through the Selhurst Park doors. This isn't a huge one, to be quite honest with you, although getting Shinji Kagawa for free is still a pretty decent deal. He is a slight improvement on one of our current attacking midfielders, being Tyson, who we got in the middle of the first season from Shakhtar Donetsk, so, I'm not going to complain. He's still an improvement, and this, quite frankly, could be the final transfer of this entire video, to be quite honest with you. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see if another centre-back appears out of nowhere, but for now, Juan Fran is also coming in from Atletico Madrid. I know he's aging quite substantially. He might not even be 80 rated by the end of Season 3, but we've got to work with what we've been given, and that, quite frankly, is barely any defenders available on a pre-contract whatsoever. It was either Juan Fran or Dani Alves, and Dani Alves was only 80 rated. Right, so unfortunately we have reached deadline day, and it is second season, which means this really is the last real opportunity to bring in players of a really high standard. I mean, we might get lucky in terms of regens on the free agents list for Season 3, we might bring in the odd loan player, but in terms of massive signings that will really, really enhance the quality of the squad, that is basically it. I would have liked to have brought in another centre-back, to be quite honest with you, but we just were not able to find any whose contracts were expiring at the end of Season 2. So here's how the season ended. I think an anomaly is one way to describe it, given we didn't have a goalkeeper for the first half of it. So 15th in the league. I know that's technically worse than last season, which is a bit of a kick to the stomach when you consider the people that we brought in, but as I mentioned, we probably had an outfielder in goal for literally the first 19 games of the season, which isn't exactly ideal, so we did manage to salvage 15th. It's worth mentioning what else happened in the league, just because of how astonishing it is. Everton won the league honestly, if this was real life, this had been the best league season ever. Because Everton won the league on goal difference out of Chelsea and City, who also finished on 70 points. 3 teams tied for first place. That's ridiculous. So here it is. Here is the team that we have been equipped with to mount our Premier League assault. To be quite honest with you, it's a very good team. It is a very, very good team, in all honesty. There are some holes in it. There's a few places where really we did need to get in at least an 80 rated player or someone just a tiny bit better, but we have still done a very decent job. And if we're lucky when it comes to injuries across the season, I think we've genuinely got a chance of fighting for the title. It's just this defence. It's the defence that really lets the team down. That's the problem. What we're going to do is we're going to sim to the halfway stage of the season, see how things have progressed, see whether we're in the title fight, and then we will go to the end of the season. If there are any transfers to be done before then in terms of loans or players coming in off the free agents list, then I will show you that. but it is relatively unlikely, although you never know what's going to happen. So obviously I'd said that we weren't going to make any transfers in this transfer window, and that's why I've gone ahead and made 2 transfers in this transfer window. We've actually found a pretty decent regen on the free agents list to provide some depth in central midfield. I think he might well be Yaya Touré's regen, because he's from the Ivory Coast and a central midfielder and very good. We're going to be bringing him in for depth purposes. I think he's probably got good potential, but we're not really going to see the likes of it because this is the final season of the challenge. And then finally, a familiar face, Presnel Kimpembe, is going to be coming in on a loan again. Surprisingly, Paris Saint-Germain, despite his 78 rating, are letting him go out on loan for yet another season. So hopefully he might be 80 rating by the end of it, and he might even be better than Scott Dan. So we're now simming then to the midway point in this third and crucial season in order to try and win the Premier League. It'd be great to know what your predictions are, having seen the team and seen, you know, what the competition's going to be like in this Premier League season. Where do you think we are going to finish? Do you think we can actually win the league, or will we only finish in the Champions League, or will we miss out maybe on Europe altogether? Drop your predictions at this point in the comments section. So here we are, the halfway stage of the Premier League in season number 3, and thankfully we are actually in a Premier League title fight, and we're not running away with it, to be fair. Not that I expected us to by any stretch of the imagination, but we are definitely competing. Manchester City are top by 5 points, but it is us in second place. Crystal Palace, with this new team that we got for free, is doing a pretty decent job. So at the moment, if we carry on like we are, the top 4 is looking like a completely nailed on eventuality as far as our position at the end of the season is concerned. Chelsea way down in 16th place, having a shocker of a season. So now we're going to sim to the end of the season, and we're going to see whether the likes of Isco, Bernd Leno, Zlatan Ibrahimovic have taken us to success for free in the Premier League. Can we win the title? So we have arrived at the end of the Premier League season for season 3. Have we completed the challenge and won the Premier League, or have we failed to do so? So here are the results then for the season, and you can see we have just missed out on completing the challenge. Second place, unfortunately, is the best we could manage, but still a very decent feat to say we literally spent £0. We have taken Crystal Palace from 10th in season 1 and 15th in season 2 to 2nd by the end of season 3, beaten only by Manchester City, who acquire 77 points to our 73. We've beaten the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United though. So there you have it. There is the result of the free transfers only challenge, only using pre-contract agreements, free transfers or free agents and loan signings. We have managed to take Crystal Palace from mid-table to second place in the Premier League, not quite grabbing that Premier League title though. You guys though can try this for yourselves at home, and make sure to tweet me. My handle is on the screen. It is at the official FNG. Once you've done the challenge, just make sure to screenshot it and tweet it over to me. And if you manage to win the Premier League and beat me, because I managed to take second in the Premier League after 3 seasons, if you guys can go one step further, then screenshot it and send it to me on Twitter. As I said, my handle is on the screen. It is at the official FNG, and links to it are in the description. But if you've enjoyed this video, this challenge video, then make sure to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. And as I said at the start of the video, make sure to check out Jared HD, who's also been doing this type of thing. He sort of invented this sort of FIFA 17 challenge as far as I am aware, or as far as I know it, in this sort of format regardless. But apart from that, it is basically, that is it. His links are in the description as well, forgot to mention that. All his social media and stuff are in the description. Make sure to go and check out his videos. But from me, it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Come to the babe looking like gold, made this with Kurt Angle boots on. And I don't wear the boot on, but they got normal shoes on. Get a like yo with the shoe from, get them to the yo Uncle Jar. I got a flex on no one, I'm the original Don. Come to the babe looking like gold, made this with Kurt Angle boots on. And I don't wear the boot on.